Hello, I'm John from Turnip House. Welcome to our third video on boosting winter wellness. Today I'm going to show you how we make our lemon drizzle cake. If we had a signature dish, this would be it. Many's the time somebody pokes their head around the door and says, "Do you have any lemon drizzle cake?" I'm not sure what I'd do if we ran out. And yet it's a simple classic, with the delights of sponge cake and the zesty tanginess of lemon. Cake is a luxury, not really healthy eating, but a small amount at the end of a healthy meal is a treat and good for the soul. And so to the ingredients for lemon drizzle cake. It's based on the classic sponge recipe of equal measure of butter, sugar and self-raising flour. But I've had the audacity to reduce the amount of fat, butter and the amount of sugar. And so far nobody's noticed the difference. So what we need is 140 grams of butter. Try and use pure butter, it's definitely the best. 160 grams of caster sugar and 170 grams of self-raising flour. With that we need 4 tablespoons of milk, 2 eggs, a spoonful of caster sugar and a lemon, for which you'll be using the zest, the skin and also the juice. This will all go into a mixing bowl and ultimately into I use a loaf tin to make slab cake, but you can use any cake tin that you prefer. And before you begin, you need to turn your oven on to 180 degrees C. So to begin, it's best to have your butter at room temperature. I'm just getting a fork out. Need a fork, so just put in the butter and the sugar into the bowl, and with a fork mix it round until it's smooth. The warmer the butter, the easier and quicker this is. It all gets there in the end. On a cold day like it is today, it's only 3 degrees outside, the butter can be hard. So to help matters along, I hold it in my hands, which are warm, and this will soften it a bit. After a few minutes, you'll see the sugar and the butter combined to make a nice smooth paste. When that's done, put in your eggs. So, break them in one at a time and mix them in. And with the second egg, it becomes a lot easier. You begin to whisk it around. This mixes all the ingredients and also adds air. If you have a cake mixer, then you can do this obviously by machine. I just prefer to do it the old-fashioned way. So when you're happy that that's all mixed in, which I am, then you can add your lemon. So first of all, the skin. So using a fine grater, just run along the lemon, taking off as much of the skin as is practical. If there's any blemishes on the lemon, you can just go round them. Okay, that's most of it on, and just scrape any that's stuck on the grater or your fingers, and mix that in. And then take the 4 tablespoons of milk and mix that in. And at this point I tend to go over to a spoon, get the mixture off the fork, and add the flour. And stir it in. Don't worry if it appears to have a little bit of lump in it, that's alright, it's perfectly normal. It will mix, it will all cook nice and smooth. So when you've got the flour evenly spread into the mixture, it's ready to go in the tin. I'm going to do this away from you, I'm afraid, because maybe I'll do it like this. Otherwise I'm not going to get it in the tin. When it's all in, it's ready for the oven. Put it in middle shelf, 180 degrees for 50 minutes. While the cake is baking, you can make the drizzle. Take the lemon, cut it in half, and squeeze the juices out as much as you can. Tend to run a spoon around it, just get the maximum amount out you can. And put this is icing sugar, by the way, not caster sugar. I said the wrong thing there. Just put the sugar in and stir it until it's dissolved, and then it's ready. Ready for when the cake comes out of the oven. So there is the lemon drizzle cake. 50 minutes later, risen nicely, smelling great. So now we put on the drizzle. The drizzle adds a sort of tangy sweetness to it, very fresh. The raw lemon juice is the key. So I have in order so that it soaks down nicely into the cake, I have a skewer. You can use a fork or a knife, just to go about halfway down the cake, the depth of the cake, making little holes, and then spoon the drizzle over it. Go down into the cracks. maybe be the odd pip here and there. That just proves you've used real lemon. And that's it, ready to cool and then eat. Well, that's the end of this session. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it inspires you to give it a go yourself. Thanks very much for watching. Next week, Elaine will be showing you how to plant edible foods. Cheerio.